formal process for guests to make comments in this meeting?
Well, there is not a formal process because we typically have not done that because it's the role of the elected parents. We have sometimes have people come and sit and listen, and if people make a comment, we know. Up until this point, it has not been an issue where we don't. Listen to it, yeah.
We've had guests before who have made comment.
Mhm.
What is posted, the meeting date, time, there's a parent advisory council webpage. We post the minutes. We had not been asked to record them up until this point.
And I'm not asking you to.
Yeah, and so we'll explore that, but it's a pretty open forum, except for when we get to the vote. If there's a vote to recommend, it's typically the parent advisory council who gets that vote. Right? Speaking of voting, we need to vote for a chair.
Can I clarify the vote?
Yeah.
In the thing here, it says decisions are made by consensus or vote, and it states what a quorum is. Does that mean consensus or majority vote?
What number are you on?
Council operations, halfway down. It's on the previous. Yeah.
It is, it's majority vote. And there have been times where we're just like, is everybody okay with that? And it's a kind of a thumbs up. So that was, the consensus. But when it's any, like, certainly recommending, making any recommendations to the board, that's always a vote, an actual majority vote.
I just think it could be clarified in the writing.
Yeah.
It's majority vote.
Yeah.
And only majority vote of people who are present, right? Like, there's no like absentee ballots.
Well, online vote, but not.
If people are
yeah,
like
but
present, yeah,
not
but
as-
not.
Yep.
We don't even have a quorum today.
Yeah.
Based on
Well-
your document, right?
We have 9 voting members
You
here.
have 6.
4, 6.
You have 7. Oh, yeah.
I don't count.
Yeah,
Oh.
you're referring to this.
It was counted.
It's referring to the council, which
I know
has
there's that.
7. We don't even have 7, so we don't have a quorum based off that logic.
But the council is made up of district personnel and admin as well, but they're not voting members.
We don't vote.
Okay.
Gotta rally our other peoples, come on.
Yes.
Which is a great point. I think South and Gladiola are struggling to get interested parents. I think the call has been put out multiple times by the principal to the parents. And then just connecting, we'll clarify next time the need for a quorum whenever there's a vote, which there is a vote technically right now on chairperson, which we can put off until next month when there is a quorum, if you would prefer. Okay.
How would, if you were trying to, if like we need a South person, how would somebody go about? Would they contact their building administrator?
Yeah. Yep. What would you recommend for the chairperson? You want to wait until next time? And typically, and I just want to point out, it really is a co-facilitated meeting. And we basically set the agenda based on what we know needs to get approved through the process to go to the board. But we also listen very well. And I heard a couple of things already from Dustin that need to be presented to you all just as information tying back to the strategic plan. And then as well, our integrated plan and academic goals that are set as part of our strategic and integrated plan. We're going to talk a lot of data and academics next month. So those will be on next month's agenda, but we listen, like, I'm hearing from parents we want to talk about, and then we gather information and bring that back. So the role of the chairperson is just really to help us facilitate and to give the parents a voice in the room. But we can select that person next time when we have more parents present, if that feels better. Does that feel better?
Well,
I'm that we're gonna have more parents.
I'm very sorry, I have to.
I'm thinking
Thanks
No,
for coming.
no problem.
Sorry.
Thanks, Pam.
that the people that showed up that are participating.
Yeah.
Need to be honored. I see a great candidate, Muriel Nelson. I would like to nominate her for the chairperson. And maybe we could do the co-chair next week, but I think the people that are here should be honored. and move forward. This is a progressive body, been here 2 years and
Well, we could reaffirm it next time too, if
Yeah.
it feels good.
Is anybody else interested?
Yeah.
Thank you for.
Yeah, so you officially nominated. I nominate Muriel Nelson.
I
For
like
the
it.
chairperson.
You have the experience, but I think the other option would be for us to vote here and then for the absentees, ask for their vote by email. No, they're not here. That honors people who are here and
Yeah.
still acknowledges the committee.
We can facilitate that.
Would you want to be mine?
I nominate Leona.
I will not be here at the next meeting. I have to speak at a conference literally at 9 AM the same time.
That
as
means-
this meeting.
That means Marielle has to be.
Well, and
Time.
yeah, really. And
I
I
have
have
jury duty next.
You do.
You were next on my list.
Uh-huh, yeah.
I see Susie.
Well, for the
This I'm
six,
new.
for the 6 of you that are here, I hear Mariel as chair and Leona as vice chair. Is that okay? Thumbs up, thumbs down,
Leona.
and then Leona.
Like, no.
I can do that.
And then we will email out to the rest of the folks who were not able to join us, and we will impress upon and know that conflicts happen. Last year, we did quite a bit of surveying to figure out what time is best for this meeting, what format is best for this meeting. We can't meet everybody's individual needs, and the survey that we conducted and the input we gathered said this date, this time works. And so we stuck with it. And then we started the Zoom thing about 3 or 4 years ago now. And that's been a nice addition for people who can't physically be here, but could listen in or participate remotely. And so just redoing that. And then one of the things we do in our district newsletter that goes out to all parents through Parent Square is make sure they know about Parent Advisory Council, what's happening, how they could check the website to see what's on the agenda. Attend, it is a public meeting. It's a very informal public meeting, but it's totally open to parents to come and listen and share and participate. So does that sound like okay? Anything you'd change about that?
Nope.
Can you
Okay.
get me out of jury duty?
I defer not called this fall, so yeah. All right,
Sure, so I'm gonna take off too. You
Okay.
guys are well on your way. Good job.
thanks,
Thank you.
Dustin.
Thanks
Nice
for
meeting you.
coming.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's move ahead and we'll go ahead and approve the May minutes. If you'd like to glance over them, if you haven't already, they are in your packet. And if there's any questions about them or corrections, go ahead and state those. And then you will ask if. And I have to remember how to do this. Okay, do I have a motion to approve this? It's not September, to approve the May minutes. Was it May? Yeah, the May minutes.
I'll motion to approve.
Thank you, Leona did. And do you say it, Leona? Okay. Second,
Second.
great. And so we'll go ahead and then take a vote, right?
Is that part of?
Sorry,
Yeah.
and everybody vote to approve the May minutes.
Abstain, obviously.
Abstain right there?
Yeah, I wasn't there, so does that mean we don't vote?
Well, you should abstain it. usually.
Okay.
That's usually.
So,
my mindset.
3 of us are voting to.
Okay, good.
The 3 that were there.
Yeah.
Who were there,
There we
but
go.
approve.
We're
Done.
Done.
Did it.
Sounds good. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the agenda items and move forward. I won't go through all of them, so let's just start. Trish and Susan, go ahead with the library program.
I am gonna go out to the website, and one thing I was seeing Rochelle with her laptop. One thing we could do in the future is have Chromebooks available and logged in with the agenda up. If you're a person that likes a copy, or if you want a copy, you can always, Kim's always got a couple of extras.
And I always like a paper one, thanks. I like to write on things.
Yeah, and
I do
so,
have 3 copies left if you guys want.
so just know that she'll communicate, like, what would you prefer?
Yeah, just let me
And
know.
we'll figure that out. Wanted to share with you, and we will be doing an article in our district newsletter about this too, to make sure all parents are informed and know. Over the summer, policy IIA, our instructional materials policy, was formally adopted by our board. And in that, it called for some processes that we have put into place, and are constantly refining and tweaking as we need to. But the big part that we want to make sure you are aware of is that on our district website, under library media, you will find library program information. You can go out to your school's individual library page, but the district library program information can be found here. And the first bullet kind of outlines what we want to make sure you know and share with you today is a 25-day review period for library books that are going to be put into circulation in our libraries. This is an opportunity for parents of students at the school where the book is being placed to have comment about what materials are being put there. So for example, you click on this link and it takes you out to this Google sheet. This is where we're refining and tweaking, because on day one, when we sent this out, and we sent out a notice across the district that library books were being posted. At the time, only Grants Pass High School had listed books, and you per the new Senate bill 1048, 1098. Anyways, that's not the important part. There's a new Senate bill that got passed by legislators that kind of dictate the process for library books. For library book concerns. And it calls for the parent of a student, parent or guardian of a student at the school has the right to comment, ask for reconsideration, etc., or a staff member of the district can also do that. And so Grants Pass High School had the first list up. It will always be in alphabetical order as best we can with the author of the book. The books that are getting purchased are posted on a specific date so we can keep track of the 25 days. And parents can scroll through and look at the books that are going to be put there. I'll show you where the comment is in just a second.
Those are all new.
These are all new books to the Grants Pass High School Library. North Middle School has posted some books. And then you will see as you kind of go through, some schools aren't up and going yet, so they don't have any books in the review queue. But you as a parent would click on your child's school or schools, review the list, and then make comment, which the comment, so back to so there's the list and there's where you leave a comment. And it takes you out to a book review form that allows you to, we do need your email address, so we'll collect that, your name, what school your children attend, your phone number, title of the book, author of the book. We want to know if you've read the book. What are your comments or concerns? And then on policy IIA, our board put into place criteria that are to be used not only for library books, it's also related to core instructional materials, supplemental materials, and classroom libraries as well. And so which selection criteria do you believe the book or books do not attend to? And we ask that you check the boxes. Like I said, we're still kind of refining this process, but that is how we currently have it set up. What happens when you hit submit is Susan and I automatically get an email. I'll go back out here. We automatically get an email that a comment has been submitted. We meet with the superintendent and the district library media specialist who is at Grants Pass High School. And we look at the book, the professional reviews that have been done on the book, and the comments related to whatever the parents' comments are, and make a determination about what our next steps are. But typically, that's how that process is going to work. We will email back the parent guardian who has made the comment so that you know what's happening next. And, if there are, so what a parent has the right to do, there's another board policy on the right to exempt your student from curriculum. This isn't just about library books. But this form that I'm opening now is if there are specific books you do not want your child to read in your child's library, you would fill this out and then it goes through a process. It first goes to the school principal who reviews with oversight from Susan and I. And then those books are flagged in the Destiny system that you do not want your child to read those books. And then when if your child were to select that book and come up to the counter to check it out, the library manager would not have them check the book out. Also, back to the website, there is, and they're not linked yet because they're not live on our district webpage, but there are policies, IIA, and this is the old IIA. Our new one has not been posted by OSBA yet. So if you were to click on this, it would take you to the old policy, but the new policy has been adopted. So that's what we act on. And then we are refining the processes for the ARs related to, and so these, when they get posted on the OSBA site, will also be linked here. But we do have ARs in place that we are following.
Those are rules, administrative rules. So you have the policy and then an AR is, okay, but how do you really implement the policy?
And in that kind of outlines the process for a request for reconsideration. Which is where we would go through a process. Tim mentioned reading books that happened last year. Where we read a book, a committee, it's defined in the process, which is revised from past practice to follow the law and OSBA and board requests. And so that's changing a little bit for how the Parent Advisory Council also operates on reconsideration of library book materials or core materials for that matter. As we get into those processes, we'll revisit those policies so that you know what the rules are we're following.
May I ask what changed relating to this group?
It will be the reconsideration of library books specific to this topic. There will be a community-wide request for parents to participate. It will not be this council
At
that
all. Or they can.
you might
As a
volunteer,
parent.
you might volunteer, and then
Okay.
depending on the number of parents that request
it.
to be on that reconsideration committee, we'll do a random selection of the number of parents defined in the AR.
Do you know, is it community-wide of those who represent students?
Yes,
Yes.
Only. thank
you have to have a student
There.
in the district.
So I remember you guys sending something out about a book and I clicked on the link, but it's like I couldn't access the book. Do I have to like go and buy this book to be able to read it to give you feedback?
Yes, we don't.
Okay, I have to go buy a curriculum book.
Oh,
I mean, that's-
no.
Library.
No,
Just for library.
Well, it was a curriculum one that you sent.
those will
Last
always
year.
be here.
Oh, so I would have to come here to the district to
Yeah.
take a look at the book.
Although-
But otherwise, if it's a library book, I would purchase it, do
Or
my,
you could go to the library and check it
Oh,
out, or
check it
see
out.
if there are free resources out there where you can
Right,
review the book.
okay.
If it's curriculum, sometimes it's an online, that's more secondary,
Yeah,
there's our
everything we
online.
sent
So,
out.
And you
I
can
think I do remember it saying.
versus elementary.
You didn't have
students,
I
we
think
have
that
a,
I've come in.
Yeah, I didn't take the effort,
yeah,
but yeah.
like our math adoption is not online, so yeah, but we have it here. for
You have,
don't
okay,
to-
I got you. And could, if I wanted to look at it, could I take it home and then bring it back, or do I have to sit here and read it? I can take it home, okay. Thank you.
I have to say, that's part of the fun of this committee of just is that you really can, you can dive in and really look at what they're
Yeah.
presenting and what they're, offering to the students.
I was gonna ask how the books are recommended for being
Mhm.
put into the libraries, and
Yep.
it looks like there's a link there, so can you go over that selection process? Is it the librarian who gets to choose? Do parents ever get to make a recommendation?
Absolutely.
And students request it.
Yep.
Oh, yes, students.
Yeah, they
Yeah, yeah.
they do.
Have a mechanism to request.
Sorry, let me get this a little bit
So
larger.
while she starts there at the middle schools and elementary schools, it's the library managers. We only have one district librarian. So she serves the whole district. I say she because this particular one is a she. But she's housed at the high school. And so library managers who they know their collections, right? They know the hot books that kids are asking for, what's the new book in the, in a series, all of those things. They manage their collections and then go through, and the librarian at the high school does the same thing. And so they have their titles that they think they might be interested in, then they go through a process that our librarian has outlined for them and trains them on every year.
And we certainly can have our district library media specialist come, and she has done this presentation to Parent Advisory Council in the past. And we could have her come again. She's also done it to a more open forum of parents. We can do that again. So there are certain professional standards that she follows based on her training and her certification. It's a professional licensure that she holds. She does look through reviews. She makes sure that it is age appropriate, that it meets interests and backgrounds, that it's covers Oregon State standards, that it doesn't that it has a high standard of aesthetic, artistic, literary. I mean, there are a lot of factors she takes into consideration. And then, as Susan said, she trains folks on it. They also look at things like when was it published, what awards has it won, etc. So to get a book onto this list, they go through quite a process. And then even with a number of the books they receive, because I mean, I can tell you to go to Grants Pass High School's list. Her ability to read 120 books, she really uses a variety of resources, but then she previews them as well when they come in. She has a staff that helps her with that too. She relies on teachers as well to help her with reviews as part of our professional roles and responsibilities. And so it's quite a process. And before the book is put on the shelf.
And then principals review it.
Yeah, principals.
And then if it's at the middle schools and high school, then, the elementary school and middle school list, then ultimately, and it goes through the school, the principal, and then to the district librarian who ultimately approves that. And they need to do all those steps before they're given the okay to process the order.
Just to clarify your comments, so 25 days, the book sits in this review period. And at that point, during those 25 days, a parent from that school is the only one that can request that review.
Or staff member.
But it has to be a parent of the person in that school.
Yeah.
But
That's
Thank
what
you.
the law.
no, I just want to make
Yeah.
it clarify, it's not like anyone can just go do it. It has to be a parent of that school.
Right.
Right, perfect.
Senate Bill 1089, I think.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, no,
I'm more just in my head, I just want to make sure it's not like we just have random, has to be someone that has a parent.
Yeah.
We're-
Yep. I will tell you, Destiny is as a parent's best friend. Cannot encourage you enough to go to Destiny. You can search, and this is open to the entire community, to go and search our books, to look at what's on the shelf. It's 100% transparent. When you click on your school's Destiny, you will see all the newest titles that are going to be put on the shelf, because once the books come in, they have to be barcoded and processed. And you'll see them appear at the top, what's new in the library. You can click on it, get a summary of the book. I think there might even be a short snippet sample to read. And have conversations with your kids about what it is they're selecting, what best represents you as a family and your values and what you would want, because the library is really self-selection. They get to pick. We're not picking for them. We're not telling them what to read. They get to pick from thousands of books on the shelf. When we talk about core curriculum, which that process looks different because that's required reading. So like when we adopted a number of new literature books for Grants Pass High School, this committee did have to read a whole bunch of books because the language arts department at the high school wanted to add them to our required reading list. And that goes through a process that looks and feels different, which when we get there, we'll kind of explain that a little bit more to you all. So there's definitely a difference between a library book and a curriculum. Everybody's gonna read this book.
That's great.
Yeah.
Does
that help?
Put it together.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there will be other tweaks. This is a new process to us and we've already made a couple of tweaks to it to help accommodate parents and information getting out there. So if you have recommendations as you explore it more or as you talk to parents, it's supposed to help with parents being more informed about what's in our school libraries. And so if there's a better way we could do it or suggestions, we're all ears. Okay.
Cell phone.
Woo, woo.
I know, how's it going?
You tell us.
My kids are not happy. Don't care.
It's fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mine are fine, they're adjusting. Yeah,
I think it's great.
I think it's great.
I think it's great too.
I think the parent involvement has decreased. Cause I think from my perspective, it was the moms and dads that were texting their kids during school constantly. Cause I heard about it.
Yeah.
And now it was great. Like she wanted to have a friend come over, but we didn't have to deal with it during the day. We dealt with it at the end of the day. So I was all for it. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is great. So, clarification. So if they do sports, they can't do it on the bus either.
For sporting events.
That's how I understood it too.
Or they can. use it.
we're still refining.
That was an interesting one.
But
Yeah,
extra,
that
the way
bus?
we have it
Yeah.
understood is that
You can't.
extracurricular activities you can.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was outside of the school.
Field trips, academic
Oh.
field trips, like we're going to
School
go
hours
to the
versus-
museum to learn more about,
Mhm.
you can't.
Yeah,
That's a good.
That's our understanding.
Great.
I like
So
that.
To and
extracurricular.
from school, they can,
Yeah,
because that's not bell to bell.
It's the
Right.
bell to bell concept.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And that
But
first
even
bell
when they
rings.
leave, like the high schoolers leave early for a volleyball game up in Eugene or whatever,
They can.
then they can use it once they've left this.
That's my
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah. Okay.
yep, they can use it.
But if they're going to Science Works for school, they can.
Cannot. Yeah. That is how we, and again, still refining and
Yes.
making sure we are all implementing, but we, the way the governor's executive order, very suddenly came into place, we technically, and
Right before
our school technically hasn't adopted the policy yet. We do have that drafted for their review at our, September policy committee meeting, because we have to have it adopted by October 1. And so that'll be going forward and be officially put into place, and then the executive order says by January 1, it has to be enacted. But we were like, middle of the year,
Jump in,
yeah, that ain't gonna work with our kids. So we responded very quickly, so as we do make adjustments, just know that we're kind of learning and figuring out the best way to implement. I know, speaking for secondary, which is really the primary user of cell phones, and like even these things have been quite a bit of conversation. The executive order is pretty clear. You cannot use
Yeah,
these.
yeah.
We are allowing kids to use them if they, I mean, there's a difference between this, it's $9.55.
yeah, yeah.
And this.
Right.
And if I see you doing this, this
It's
is what
gone
you're gonna
bye-bye.
have to do.
Yeah.
Are the teachers doing a good job of like actually?
Yeah,
controlling?
I adjusted when I said, what's your perspective on how it's going? I think, we've been surprised. I look to Rochelle, she is a teacher at the high school and, sees how it's going. It's been surprisingly well. done.
It's pretty crazy. It really is. Now I deal primarily with ninth graders, so transitioning from the middle school, like, and I have an eighth grader, he's like, I'm like, the governor, like the law, he's like, what's the difference? Like, it's already that way at the middle
Yeah, for
school. So
elementary and middle, this is
it's not,
really not.
So, and this ninth grade class, it's just pretty much status quo, right? And I think everyone else is kind of adjusting. I've talked to parents of kids who have sophomores, juniors, and they're like, my kid looked at their phone after school, and by the end of, by the time they got home, they only had 30 minutes of time used on their phone versus hours, and one parent told me that at the lunch table, she's like, the daughter was like, well, we don't have phones, so we all just talk. I mean, it's just crazy. And staff as well, my experience is that we're all really working to model that too. Like, obviously there's things where as professionals, we have to have accessibility to our phones, parent square messages from our administrators come out if there's a situation. So we have to have access to our phones, but for the most part, staff is working really hard too. So like my husband's text, I've got like 27 texts from him and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't respond to you. I'm trying to model the behavior, so it feels really good. In our staff meeting yesterday, teachers were just like, oh, this is the best thing ever. So, yeah, it's a huge adjustment though, because there's lots of things that were used. Cell phones were used as like, hey, if you want to get called into study hall, use this QR code, or we're adapting. We use 5-star for incentive points for the kiddos and all that, and it's still, you can still do it. It's just
After hours.
well, usually you can log in on your Chromebook, or we're documenting in different ways, and so it's an adjustment, and it will still continue to be an adjustment. But the overarching review is that everyone loves it.
This is very anecdotal, non-scientific, but most days my window faces, our windows face that way, and so when kids let out at the end of the day, I usually stand and look, get my kid fix. But last year, every single day, at least 50% walked out like this. They literally walked down the hill like this, and then I have to look for kids who have their phones out now. So it's not like, oh, I'm released, I'm instantly on my phone. They're still continuing talking, and I think that's powerful.
I do too.
On the discipline side, I did check in with our high school team, our discipline team at the high school. There is an outline of expectation and what happens, because the executive order is really clear. We're not, this isn't about adding detentions and in-school suspensions and suspending a kid. It's about trying to teach them and model some really good behaviors. And so that's what our discipline outlines. There does come a point in time though, where if you're gonna cuss at me about me taking your phone, or if you're going to refuse and deny, which it does happen, and I can tell you they've had a number of bad words said to them. That's no longer an electronic device issue, that's an insubordination issue, and is being documented as insubordination, defiance, disruption versus cell phone violation. So if a kid is just, in fact, Elizabeth Groves was telling me yesterday, she's our secretary, the admin assistant who oversees discipline data input. She said she had a kid come, he was so apologetic. I'm so sorry. I kind of just by habit grabbed my phone. Teacher had taken it away from him and he had to come pick it up in the office. I'm very sorry for what he had done. So you have the angry kiddos, and then you have I'm just learning. Bear with me and be patient with me. So from our perspective, it's been a good thing. We will continue to monitor it though, and see how it continues to grow. We'll probably report back at some point in time the number of violations and such that we've had, because we are tracking it at the high school as a way to help us. Some districts have invested big dollars in what they call yonder pouches, where you actually have to put your cell phone in it and it's a locked device that will not unlock until the end of the day. There is talk of if kids don't respect the rules, we might have to invest in some sort of locking device. But right now, we're trying it this way, just like with the watches, we're trying it this way. And if it becomes a problem, we'll say, no, take them off, leave them home.
Are we just not super tech savvy? What is glasses? Like, are those
What AI classes?
They
like,
actually have phones.
There are now glasses
In
that
your
have.
face.
And you can read it and see different.
I think I get
My brother
nauseous.
has
It's like
I know.
wearing glasses and they pop a message popped up. That's crazy.
That is
Does
weird.
anybody in this room have those?
I know.
Who can afford that thing? That's what I want.
I don't think they're that expensive. My
Oh, really?
brother has a pair and
Holy.
Yeah.
moly.
written down.
Not crazy.
Okay.
I appreciate that you're trying to give, empower students and parents rather than going straight to the yonder pouches.
Mhm.
Can you define for me detention and in-school suspension? I don't know what those actually are.
The difference.
Yeah, so
between
the third and fourth offense mentioned detention
Yeah.
and ongoing.
Detention is typically done during lunch or during a break. It's short in duration, so 20-25 minutes. It's our busiest time of the day, the detention room. In-school suspension is a higher up discipline action. It's typically a half day or a whole day where you are literally in the detention room for periods on end. So detention's a short duration, in-school suspension is a longer duration, and depending on the offense will determine how long that.
Are they doing, see, my kids have not gotten to that.
What a
stage, but
privilege.
they- are they doing schoolwork while they're
Mhm.
in that room or?
Is it yes, in theory.
In theory,
Okay.
yeah.
We do have a detention supervisor who really works on that, but sometimes
Yeah.
that behavior carries over into the detention room and that becomes a bit of a challenge as well. So,
And it's also a little bit of a challenge from the teacher perspective, like you get an email that says, hey, this kiddo's in school today, if you have any work, please send it down, but if your prep's not till 6th period,
Yeah.
so it takes some student initiative as well to use that in school successfully.
Yeah.
Trish.
yes, and let me admit that person. I will say we'll figure out a way to scan the, cause I'm really gonna try to link things and not add paper. Because this is a Google document and I'm realizing it didn't print for you and you can't click on the link that was sent to you, so, anyways, summary.
Yeah, so another last minute sort of thing. As far as funding for summer school, the legislature appropriated X amount of millions of dollars for summer school, and unfortunately, it was not a typical distribution where it was like, we get our proportionate share. They had other criteria, and Grants Pass wasn't going to get any. And then I don't even remember when. It's
Mid-May, I think.
yeah.
It was
Surprise,
so
you
high.
you have money, and it's actually more money than we could spend, so, but you have to have it done, like this, and here's all these forms, but, we were able to do that, very happy about that, as well as, and Trish will talk more about this, things, we always have some summer school offerings. And are able to do that through other funds, but some of the things that we did this year are highlighted up here. Just real quick, kinder camp, so our incoming kinders, we have typically had a 1 week kinder camp, it's, kindergarten teachers teach those. But what we were able to do, because we had this funding, is to expand it, so they were 2 week camps, so each child went 2 weeks, we had 72 of our incoming kinders attend. It's not, academics for incoming kinders is not about reading and writing and letters, it's about, can you follow 2-step directions? Can you sit and listen to a story? Can you transition from a preferred activity like the art activity and then go clean up to a non-preferred activity? So that's the kind of content that's the kind of learning that's happening. But one of the greatest things about this year's camp, it being 2 weeks, a little bit of that I'm just gonna, I'm a little bit more self-contained. By the second week, kids kind of showed their, maybe more of their accurate personalities. And so that's good for us. We want to see, kids' strengths and the areas that they need to work on. And because we had 2 weeks, we were able to connect with principals and behavior specialists of, okay, this kiddo's going to Highland, this kiddo's going to Parkside. And the kinder camp teacher was able to connect with staff, and they were able to come and get eyes on some of our kids who will need some more supports going into school. Typically that happens when they enter the front door at the beginning of the school year, but we were able to get some plans in place to make that transition easier for the child. So huge success with that. The other big piece that we did was a camp called Literacy Quest. It was hosted at Riverside. And this was totally new. We've never done it before, and we were able to do it because of this funding. It was a 5-week, 80-hour summer school focused on foundational reading skill development. Those are some of the requirements of the grant. 65 students participated, most of them who are now in 3rd grade. So we targeted end of the year 2nd graders. And then whatever spots we had left, we then asked 1st graders. It was invite only, and we targeted students who were not at benchmark at the end of the year. We used our newly adopted curriculum as the curriculum, and so students rotated through 2 small group reading sessions and 2 enrichment. It was science activities. Mystery science is our science. It's not really a curriculum, but it's a resource that we have. And so they rotated through those, and then they had recess and they had lunch, and we were able to have lunch on site, and we were able to provide transportation. But the big thing that I wanted to share is that the numbers. So 14 of 18 and 42 of 47 of the 2 grade levels, students maintained or increased their words correct per minute. That's one of our key indicators in foundational reading is how many grade level, how many words can you read a minute? And so they either maintained what they had at the end of the year or increased it in the 2nd graders. They're at the bottom little section. The average increase was 10 words a minute, which might not sound like a lot, but it is a lot. Most of these kids stayed in kind of their, like, maybe they're still below grade level, but like I was showing Trish, we had some kids one student who increased, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I know the increase was around 25. So maybe she had 10 words and she ended with, 35, 40 words. She's still below grade level, but that kind of increase in that amount of time is phenomenal. So if we can continue that momentum now that school has started, over time, we'll be able to catch her up. So that last line about even if they didn't increase, or even if they didn't move into benchmark, we didn't lose ground, and we don't have that summer slide that we typically see, especially with we see it more in our students who aren't at grade level. And for these students, these 65 students, we were able to hold that steady or increase. So very, very proud of the work that happened at Riverside. Kudos to the staff there and the literacy specialist, Lindsay Legrand, who orchestrated all of that.
At the secondary, with that summer school funding that Susan was referencing, we were only able to do one of these activities. It's this Transitions Academy. Because the rules around the grant funding were really specific. It had to be 80 hours long. It had to be focused on literacy skills. When we got the money, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not going to get staff to do this. Shocked. I got 2 of the best people to do it. They did a fantastic job. I could not get kids to come to it. Or parents to get their kids to come to it. And so I don't have a lot of data to share. In fact, I need to remember, we did take attendance, but I need to calculate the attendance. I know of the 18 kids, 15 were pretty regular, came almost the entire time. 3 were more spotty. But we invited I thought I put that on here. We invited over 90 kids and had very little response from parents. Even though we said attendance doesn't matter, come for what you can, if you already have plans, we provided transportation, all those kinds of things. Of the kids that did participate, really great feedback. We're gonna use their beginning of the year benchmark assessment, which is happening right now at their middle schools. And then their spring scores from their 5th grade year, because we really targeted 5th to 6th grade. How do we help set the kids up with literacy deficits for the middle school experience? I'm really hoping, I know we are, that we get this money again,
Very much so.
because with more time,
Right?
we can take names. I mean, we can definitely expand and do a fantastic job of impacting more students. But
We also had partners. We partnered with Boys and Girls Club at the elementary. We partnered with Options for Southern Oregon. And so we had skills trainers at the Literacy Quest camp and at each kinder camp as well. Especially important at the kinder camp to have those skills trainers to help students learn those skills.
we always do other summer school activities though too. We use high school success dollars, student investment account dollars, general fund dollars. We draw from whatever we can. And for secondary, particularly the high school, it's about credit. It's about helping kids, with the initial credit classes we offer, which we had 118 students participate in those 3 courses that are listed. Most of them earned the credit. It helps them with their high school schedules to open up, to give them some flexibility about what they take and when they take it. So it's been, I think we've done that for the last 10 years, maybe 15. It's been a really positive, the online initial credit classes. Credit retrieval is necessary. We have students who fail classes and they need an opportunity to recover. And I just have to give a huge shout out to Christopher Rosetta and to our student success team, which Rochelle is the coordinator of. By doing the credit retrieval stuff, and you'll hear more data around our 9th grade success next month, we were able to recover quite a few credits for students, which means they get closer to on track to graduate on time. So a real positive there. And the other thing to highlight, well, 8th to 9th grade summer bridge, really trying to set up our students who are transitioning to high school. We provide them with some money to budget and to go shopping for school supplies, really help set them up for success. And then Gladiola also runs a summer school. So lots happen. We'll send this to you so you can, there's pictures and stuff, you can click on links and all that kind of stuff as well. Any questions about summer school?
Is there I mean, the online credit or the online initial credit seems to be very successful. But the pass rate for Career Academy seems to be the lowest. Is there like some sort of pattern? Is there something?
This is my anecdotal,
Mhm.
having seen this for years. I think students sign up thinking summer school is summer fun,
Mm,
and it's a lot of work.
yeah.
And in all of our registration documentation, we try to say, this is a rigorous course.
Mhm.
You have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
The pass fail rate this year for Career Academy was larger than past. Usually it's personal fitness
Oh, really?
is the pass fail rate is crazy. Because kids don't realize the amount of work they have to do. And follow through they have to do. In order to earn the credit, because it is an initial credit. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And that's my,
Cause I know that, like I know just speaking to the teacher, he was saying that he wished he had more kids in it. And especially right now when those class sizes are just
Right.
tremendous.
and I was talking, we'll talk more later, but yeah, virtual is another big issue with Career Academy.
Mhm.
Doing it virtually, because online is not for everyone, and we will update you about our changes to online, because you notice GP Flex has changed. So we will update you on what's happened with GP Flex and our junior high. GP Flex does not exist. We do have online options for kids, and we'll talk more about that next time, but online is not for every kid.
Mhm.
And so doing the Zoom room, doing the Canvas, working independently, organizing your time takes a real skill set, and a lot of 15, 16-year-old kids do not have that kind of skill.
Yeah.
Who's most successful online is our 17 and 18-year-olds. And it's not true of everybody, but really as kind of a general guideline, that's another big part of it. The incoming sophomore that's trying to take Career Academy
Mhm.
is not a good time manager.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Health.
we have a lot to get through, and so I'm gonna just brief here. It's really health and social studies. We talked about the role of the Parent Advisory Council. This is our year that we will be looking at both of those sets of materials for formal adoption. The process really starts in October. We're getting school up and going. So you'll hear more next month about the way it works. I will tell you the health materials are already ready for you to review. So we'll send you information about how you can take the book home, spend time with it, look through it. And then when we come to about February, because we don't meet in March, February, we will come to you for a formal vote recommendation of not only health, but also social studies. Anything you'd add to that?
No, social studies is an iffy for elementary. I'm gonna wait and see what's offered. And because unfortunately for elementary, sometimes in the social studies and health world, there's not a lot of.
Did health have to be rewritten?
Hmm?
Did health have to be rewritten, or were you able to find some other things? Thank you. I was just curious.
I would say what we're still gonna come forward with is a textbook that's been written for us.
Yeah.
And, but still looking for some clarification and direction on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Attendance, we will send this to you, but we have an attendance problem in this district and we need your help. I don't know what else to do. We don't know what else to do. We are making some changes. I know this Parent Advisory Council has had some issues with the attend letters that go home, the letters that say, and I'll explain a little bit about what the change is there. But over to the far bottom right corner, as a district, we dropped by 4%. 68% of our kids came to school regularly. What that means is that 32% didn't, which means they missed over 18 days of school. That's 2 days a month of learning missed. It's a big problem. We can't, I mean, if you look at our academic outcomes and we looked at academics versus attendance. Attendance doesn't always mean academic success. Because you have kids who pass state assessments, pass their classes, and missed a whole bunch of school. And then you have kids who missed a whole bunch of school and passed all those things. I mean, it's attendance and academics, but where attendance does show up is in the social emotional outcomes for kids, their ability to interact with their peers, to collaborate, to make connections, to think critically, to be pushed and challenged. And so that's really our flip, is to really appeal to the social emotional learning outcomes of our students, because 32% of them not coming to school regularly, we can't do our jobs well if they're not at school. And I think we scratch our heads and we talk to lots of parents. Why aren't the kids coming to school? We did look at some trends by grade level. And so if you look at this group of seniors from last year, how they were as 11th graders, I mean, you really see what, after that pandemic, it's almost like parents and kids thought, oh, I don't really have to come to school, because that's what the pandemic showed them. And we've seen this trend. You see it also in this 8th grade group who had fantastic attendance in 1st and 2nd grade and now have the lowest attendance in the district. And it really, you see the bump in the road during that 1920, and I would take the 2021 data with a grain of salt as well.
Just sorry to clarify that when you say this 8th grade class, is that this 8th grade class or last year's 8th grade?
Last year's data, this is last year's data, so those kids are 9th graders now. I know, lucky us.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
But isn't that attendance though, like if they're tardy or if they have to get pulled out for doctor visit, that doesn't, I thought that counted towards that.
Tardies does not.
Tardies
Doctors
does,
does.
just doctor.
Doctors does.
So if they leave, if they're here most of the day and you're pulling them out for an hour and a half in the middle of the day, it counts against.
It'll end up, for middle school, high school, the way that calculation works is. The high school schedule is a 7-period. So if you take a kid out for 1 or 2 periods, it's a half day absence. It ends up the periods collect, and then there's a
Yeah.
half day and a whole day.
Right.
In elementary, I can't remember off the top of my head the exact number of minutes, but like if you leave an hour early, that's actually a tardy, because we don't have a word for tardy at the end.
That's
Leave
what I
early.
remembered from Redwood.
Yeah, but
was
I
that
can't
being-
remember at what point it changes to a half day.
Yeah.
I don't remember the math calculation.
I have a question.
Mhm.
So a debate at our house, when the kids are in sports and they have their practices after school, the coaches are really harsh about don't miss our practice for an appointment. So my kids come to me and say, no, just put my doctor's appointment or my orthodontist appointment
in the
during
middle
my
of the day.
class.
Yeah.
And I wrestle with it because I'm like,
Mhm.
but you need to be in class.
Yeah.
And sports, as much as we love them, are secondary. You need to be a student first.
Mhm.
So what can we do with our athletics department to help that? Because those coaches are like, do not miss a practice or you don't play a game or,
What I can-
even excused.
Yeah.
Like they'll even.
Well,
You won't be able to
Excuse.
play and then that's detrimental to. the
So
kid.
we've wrestled with that in my house.
I
What do I do with
I
that?
I appreciate that. What I'm gonna say,
Mhm.
you may not agree with. I'm not talking about that issue because.
Sure, they're
I
gonna be
can
there.
guarantee I look up your kid and they
Okay.
didn't miss 18 days of school.
But somebody who is struggling
And I
and
will,
puts
I
sports
will,
first in their life,
and I could run the data
gonna
and I
please
might
them.
be wrong. But the preponderance of kids
no one's-
are not the ones that are.
Yeah.
Kids that are connected to, and that's why we
Yeah.
push and that's why we have so many
Being
clubs
active and,
and activities.
yeah.
It's the social emotional stuff that keeps kids
sure.
connected to school.
Great,
And so the participation in those things, and
is
I
fine.
would do what your kid tells you to do.
Great, but that's fine with me. No, that's fine with me, but I was just like, oh, is this reflected in those numbers? But I get what you're saying, and I know my
You take
kids
them
are
out for the
fine.
appointment and you bring them back. I mean, there
Yeah,
are parents who take the kid out
And then don't bring 'em back.
Just
Yeah.
be gone for the
Yeah.
whole day because
Yeah.
the appointment, and so you'll
I
just
want
miss
us to
the
be
day
back
about
and
it.
deal with it.
That's to me the bigger conversation problem, and I could be
Here-
wrong.
Some of our worst attenders are kindergarten. That is not a kindergartner's fault.
Yeah.
There's no way on earth
Yeah, no way.
that
as
anybody
parent-
can think
Yeah.
that attendance at 5 years old is the
Yeah.
5-year-old's issue. That is
Elementary
that
in
is a
general, I
parent,
think.
issue, and it is about, I mean, cause the principals hear it all day, every day. It's not important. It's not important. Or they just, they literally don't have the skills to,
Tell their kid no.
Yeah.
I was trying to be like,
I'm not being polite.
to deal.
No,
with
you're going
to deal with the argument, to deal with the fight, to deal with
Yeah.
the, and get their.
That's
Teacher.
the parent education.
Right,
Yeah.
and so it, but it establishes a pattern and a routine that then continues.
Right.
So I know we have a district person, and I've forgotten what his name is, who was doing some parent education. Is he still in place? Is he gone?
I don't know
He
what you're.
was,
We do have other
I can't remember
people.
his
We
name.
don't have him. I don't remember who
Okay,
him is,
that's
but
okay.
each school has kind of an attendance coordinator. That doesn't do education. We're trying some different things on the education front. Amy Jackson is our attendance coordinator at Grants Pass High School, and she does some parent education bits and some student education bits. And we were partnering with juvenile justice, but we were really focused on the punitive, like you need to be in school because the law says. And we're really trying to flip that to you need to be in school because People miss you.
Yeah.
Other people, you miss out on other people.
So the chat
It's kind
box.
of like the cell phone conversation. Kids are talking to each other again. Be in
Wow.
school so you can
Yeah.
talk to people again. And this quote from a research article to me, really, I mean, it's since the pandemic, we have seen a skyrocketing rate of. And it's
It's not,
translating
it's
into
not just here. This is
No.
not a Grants Pass problem or an Oregon problem. This is a national problem.
national problem. And so, and you hear it in business and industry from us, like you gotta teach kids attendance matters, right? We're trying to help parents understand
Teach the
attendance
parents.
matters.
That's what I'm wondering is parent
Yeah.
education.
Just
something
because,
Josh.
go ahead.
I'll be real quick.
Yeah.
Do you see the trend when you spoke to it of these kids? Is it related to absences in a row? Would you say that it's like they're missing like multiple days in a row, or is it like 18 days like random throughout a time period?
More
Or it's
random.
more random.
Is
It's
it?
not like they're missing like through chunks in a way. That's what I was asking.
Because the chunks sometimes implies they actually were sick
Mhm.
or they,
Yeah.
you know.
No, that's what
Yeah.
my question was more related to that.
Yeah.
Like, is it chunk related or is it really like random days?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And a parent taking a kid out to, we're gonna extend Thanksgiving and go 2 days early, which we see a lot of. Okay. But then translate that into the next month with kid says, I'm really tired. I don't want to go to school. Well, no, even when we're tired,
No,
we go to school. And so how do we help with that kind of thing? We will send this to you. I think the thing I want to make sure you know is the letters are gonna continue this year, but they will have a much different tone. If there are excused absences, the letters pretty much say, we miss you. It's important you're here. And they will be more spread out after 5, 10, and 15 absences. I mean, if your kid's getting up to 15 absences, that's where you really should start to question like, attendance is, and that's what the letter's trying to say is, we need you connected, kids need your kids' connection, so it's important. And then unexcused absences, those are truly truant. Thank you, Sky.
Yeah,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I like the new letter too, it's those letter.
Kid who has the flu and then you get the
Yes.
letter
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
You're
You're
like
like,
be cited if you
Yeah.
keep missing, and I'm like, well, I'll send the kid with the flu. You really need to.
Yeah, and that's where, so we took all that part out, all of the excuse letters are not for if you're calling your kid in sick, but we do want to continue to have parents monitor. When you get up to 15, you are
What's that?
at critical, like
Yeah.
you're almost to the chronic absenteeism mark. How sick is too sick? And there are materials, and I don't think I put them in the PowerPoint. There are materials that, how sick is
Excuse me.
And I think sometimes, a kid will say I have a tummy ache, but they don't have a fever. They're not vomiting.
Send them to school.
Send them to school. They're not sick. They might be, and they
And if
might
they
vomit.
vomit,
Yeah, then we'll call it.
Hey, that's
instead
my
of-
one.
But it's okay. We'd rather, and maybe it's just they're afraid of something that's gonna happen at school today, or they're nervous about something, and they're just, I don't know. Last bit, we are trying some different things. I want you to think about, like, we'll put this on next time. We want to hear what could help our parents. Thinking about a work group to come together and talk to parents. Probably not a group like this because your kids are coming, but the kids who are like at 80% attendance, their parents, like, why are they missing so much? Those kids are missing about 20, 22 days a year. Why? What could we do different as a district? We are trying incentives again. This year, the high school, you will only get to go to the dance if you have a certain percentage attendance. We're hoping that helps there.
At elementaries, there's monthly, like 10 minutes extra recess or, whatever. But to go, you can miss one day and that's it. And it's gonna be tough love. Like, I'm sorry you had the flu, but next month we're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
We're also having
more.
open
Right.
house. Open house reinstated at all levels. We haven't done that since COVID. But at elementary, one of the sessions that the principals are leading is about attendance. to try to another proactive step.
I'm curious about the dance one. Philosophically, I don't agree with it. I think whatever connects kids to come to school, I mean, they have to go to school that day. And if that's enough to get them to come that day, but I'll be curious to see what the data shows, whether it's an effective.
And we'll track on it.
Yeah.
We gotta try something.
Okay, I got,
I mean, to drop 4% is a huge problem.
yeah.
We do try to keep our meetings to an hour and a half, and we put too much on the agenda this time. That's,
over.
will carry over, or a couple of them, you might be able to read the EL report in your packet, read it if you want.
I'll just say, I think you're right to focus on rewards as opposed to the punitive orders. And I think you're spot on to talk to the community of parents who have the kids missing those number of days of school to learn that way, because data only tells us so much, right?
Yeah.
We've got to hear the stories.
Right.
And I also, on your first slide, noticed Redwood had a really dramatic increase and now is the highest. So maybe, and you may already know, but learning what they did in that year, like what changed.
Miss
What did they
Mooney
do
did a
well?
lot of communicating with the kids and talking about how, when you miss, how much they fall behind. She did a lot. She was good at that. So I think that had a lot to do with being a Redwood mom,
Yeah.
so.
That's right.
That's it. That's what we got for you today.
Good job.
Okay.
Thank you.
Be better time management
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
slightly more chatty person with me, so I'll try to keep my commentary.
That is, okay.
And I,
Okay, we're gonna
This
sign off
conference is
online.
like,
Thank
no
you very
problem.
much.
I'll join virtually, and then I got scheduled to present